Fourth team in NBA history with multiple 30-point series-clinching wins in a single postseason. They joined the 25 Thunder last year, the 2008 Celtics, and the 1987 Lakers way back when Acho was kicking and whatnot. All three of these teams went on to win the NBA title, so the Knicks putting themselves in elite company right now. Joel Embiid, though, however, had some interesting things to say about it. We'll get to that in just a minute, actually. Sorry, maybe jumped the gun. But are you guys impressed with the Knicks or disappointed in the Sixers, given this first
quick
one?
question, though. So then the first year that the Warriors got Kevin Durant, they was smoking everybody. They're not in this group? They're not in this? Did they make this list?
I don't think so.
They was smoking everybody. They won like 16-1 or something like that. But go ahead.
I'm disappointed in the Sixers, bro. You can't come back from down 3-1 like you did against the Celtics in really dominant fashion once Embiid came back. Embiid came back. He looked great. He looked healthy enough to get the job done. And then you go up against the Knicks team that is very good, that is very talented, but a Knicks team that was without OG Anunoby for the last 2 games. At least still won, if not both of those games. OG Anunoby was probably the best two-way player on the Knicks the entirety of this playoffs, and he's out. And you can't win a game? Paul George, not one. Not one game you can't come up with. Game 3, Paul George, you go 0 for 8 in the second half after you have 13 points in roughly the first quarter? Make it make sense. Joel Embiid, you talk all that big talk after you close out the Celtics. Nobody can guard you. You pummeling Jalen Brown. You're pushing Cater into the dirt. Sam Hauser don't want to see you. Then you go up out against Karl Anthony Towns after calling him a cat in a literal sense, and he completely demolishes you. Like, make that make sense. Furthermore, Joel Embiid, you come up with that loser limp in the literal and figurative sense. So to me, I'm utterly disappointed in the 76ers. It is not that the Knicks aren't a good team. The Knicks are a very, very, very good team, and they're an incredibly well-coached team. No Mike Brown personally, a really good team. However, the fact that you could not steal one game when the Knicks were without the player that is currently playing the best on that roster in OG Anunoby, that is shameful, disgusting, and disappointing.
You know what, though? I mean, if you just look at the matchups, right, I think a lot of people would take some of the Sixer players.
Yeah, of course.
That's why I got to go with the Knicks. I think I'm more impressed with them. Not only did you dominate, out-coach, and outplay the Sixers, y'all swept them.
True.
Y'all swept them. So I got to go with the Knicks. I mean, they look good. They look confident. They look way better than. They look more dominant. If you look at just the two teams and you don't know what team is, and you turn the volume off, you just watch it, it looks like they beat them by 30, 40 points. It looks like that. They look more hungry and more desperate. They were the hungrier team and more aggressive team. They deserve this, and I am more impressed with the way that the Knicks coached and the way the Knicks played.
Let me give it to you like this, though, 2-5. My problem is Paul George, my take. My problem is Paul George averaged 14.5, 3 and 3.
Okay.
I can't be more impressed with the Knicks when the Sixers' most seasoned player, most veteran player, most talented, healthy veteran player, you give me 14.5, 3 and 3, bruh. He had 5 points in a gotta have it, must win, elimination game 4 game at home. He had 15 points when Joel Embiid didn't even play in game 3 at home, gotta have it, turned the tide game. He went 0 for 8 in a gotta have it, must win at home game 3 game. To me, it's one thing if OG was strapping PG. OG wasn't even there. You letting Bridges strap you up.
But like, that's the problem, though. When a player has a bad offensive night, they just call it a bad offensive night. What about the defense, though? Because, I don't know what you're saying about OG, because OG he's a two-way player.
Yeah.
But Bridges D's up.
He
does. That's what he does. Josh Hart, he plays defense. So, these guys had bad nights, and Paul George's offensive, he's really, really good on the offensive side of the ball, but he had a bad night, and not just because of that, because of he had defense in front of him. They played stingy defense out there. They played aggressive defense. It looked like, you know what, we playing against an offensive team that's super, super skilled, right? With Paul, with Embiid, and also with Maxey. We're going to make sure we D up. We're going to make sure that we take the defense to them, and we shut them out. They was shutting them boys down.
But you know who else I'm disappointed in, though? Nick Nurse.
Down.
Because you saw CJ McCollum gave Jalen Brunson that work.
Yeah.
Hawks stole 2 games off the Knicks, if I'm not mistaken. Stole 2 games off the Knicks on the back of CJ McCollum. CJ McCollum, I think, averaged 24, 25 points in that series. I think he had a 29-point game and another high 20-point game. And never, not once, did the Sixers decide to put Brunson in pick-and-roll action, nor did the Sixers decide to attack Brunson. VJ Edgecombe should have averaged 19 points in this series. If they're going to put an undersized, under-athletic Jalen Brunson on you, Edgecombe, you got to go to work. Like, you got to eat. You got to dominate. Or, Maxey, put Brunson in a pick and roll.
Yeah.
Like, that's my thing, is like, put Brunson in a pick and roll and make Brunson do something. Oh. They never made him play defense.
I got one more to talk about with my Sixers, though. Joel Embiid, right? And it's hard to get on him too much because he was injured. But I need him 1 year just to, you know what? Yo, get healthy. Get healthy and take care of your body. And when you look at him play, he looks like he's a talented dude that's out of shape. He's tired. He don't want to hustle. He ain't closing out on shots. Yeah. I think if we get him and get him in shape, right, I think if he eats better, take care better of his body, he'll be more healthier. He won't be as hurt as much. Because we got to say this. When he healthy and he in shape, it's hard to guard him. It's hard to guard him. And I think if we do need him. People want to get rid of him. We need Embiid, but we need him to be a real leader, man.
Yeah, let's get to the Embiid discussion, because after the game, he's making kind of some news right now. He said, "I know we lost, but for me, this was a success." I'll let you guys listen to what he had to say.
Like, what?
Yeah, I mean, I said it, and I'm gonna say it again. I know we lost, and I know that's not the right mentality to have. But for me, this was a success. I came into this year not knowing where I was gonna be, how long I was gonna play. If I was even going to play based on how the knee was the last 2 years, and I came in just hoping for the best, and I feel like we're in a position where we figured out the knee. Hasn't been an issue.
Figured out his knee, finished the season healthy. Says even with the loss this year for him was a success.
Come on, man.
Guys, do you think the 76ers need to move on from Joel Embiid?
I don't think it's time to move on, but it's time that we make him more accountable, right? Because I think he has all these knee injuries and all these other injuries because he's too heavy. If you look at his body, he don't look like he's in shape. And then when you have all that weight at that size, at that height on that knee, it's bad. For example, when we would come into training camp or camp, and if guys are out of shape, they can't put them in like real deal training, because carrying on that weight and moving that fast, you're going to get hurt. So they'll make you lose weight, and then they put you in camp, and then you play. My thing with him is he's a great player. He's probably the best skilled big man we've ever seen. We won't be technical, but he got to be in shape. If not, he's a liability. Like Cat was having his way. Cat ain't on the same planet as Embiid, but when he out of shape, he is.
Get Embiid the hell out of Philly.
Oh my God. You just said that?
Get Embiid the hell out of
Philly. And the MVP Embiid?
Yeah. Here's why. Number one, Embiid is standing in Tyrese Maxey's way. Tyrese Maxey is trying to take the next level. He is trying to catapult into superstardom, and he can't, because decrepit, old man, oft-injured Embiid is standing in the way. Embiid, when he is present and is healthy, is an absolutely astonishing player. He is a superb talent. He is a savant of a center at the basketball position. However, how often is Embiid healthy? Throughout the course of this season, Joel Embiid had missed as many games as he had played, 482 to 482. He is going on year 13. And what have the 76ers gotten out of Joel Embiid? Do you all realize Embiid had not played 6 consecutive games all season since December? We are currently in May, celebrating Mother's Day. If you are waiting for a healthy Joel Embiid, you will die before that day ever comes. Joel Embiid is not going to become a healthy player. You do not get healthier as you get older. You just get more. Might make your light actually shine in Philadelphia. When he's healthy, he's a supreme talent. However, more often than not, he's not healthy. So for me, you got to get rid of Joel Embiid if you actually want to make significant steps in Philly. We've seen 12 years of Joel Embiid. We've seen the ceiling. We've seen the peak. And it is what it is, 2-5. It's not that high to me. What you think about it, Karen?
The thing is, how are you going about it? How are you going about it? Because to me, the 76ers, if you can get a healthy run out of them, I think they can play with anyone, especially with the guys like Tyrese Maxey, who seems to be coming in his own as a true number one superstar. So I do agree. It is that time. If you do want to move on and have Maxey be the number one, he could do that. I truly believe he's ready for that responsibility. But right now, this team is still not a bad team. They're not. They're not a bad team. You're still depending on an old Paul George, who we know what he is as a playoff performer. He had, 7 points tonight? We know what he is at this point. Him and James Harden, in my opinion, are in the same boat. Like, we know what you guys are as playoff performers. So to me, it's more than just, okay, Joel Embiid, you're ruining our chances and whatnot. They're a better team because of Joel Embiid. We don't know what they look like really without him.
And this is my thing though, man. Like, Joel Embiid is so special, and I want you to hear what I'm saying. He's so special that whoever the superstar on the team is, if Joel Embiid is healthy and 100%, he's automatically going to steal the show in the spotlight because he's just that much better. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? If Maxey at the top of his game, when Joel Embiid is at the top of his game, just the mismatches, the way he can score, the way he can put points up, the way he demands the post, defense, he'll be the number one player, bro. And it's not even nobody else's fault. So
here's the thing, and I remember, I don't know, Shady, that Joel Embiid is a championship best player. I don't know that he's the best player on a championship team. One, I don't know if he's going to be healthy enough to be sustained through a championship run. Two, I just don't know 2-5 that, like, I can see Embiid being the physical, emotional, and like grit force to carry a team to a chip. I just don't know I can see it. Like, shout out to him coming back down 3-1 when the Celtics, but like, I don't know, Shady, that I can see it. I also don't know if Embiid is still hungry. And you know, like, you made a lot of money playing pros, and you played with a lot of people to make a lot of money. There comes a point when you've accomplished what you wanted to accomplish, and you kind of good. You don't have that same hunger that you had when you were younger. I'll take y'all back to 2023. Joel Embiid won MVP. And when I saw Joel Embiid's reaction to winning MVP, I was like, this is a reaction that players have when they win a chip, not when they win an individual award. Kieran, take this, will you? This is when Joel Embiid found out he was winning NBA MVP. I want y'all to see this back in 2023. Rome in the back. Can y'all take this?
The 2023 MVP from the Philadelphia 76ers.
You can fast forward like 30 seconds, Kieran. You can kill it. Winning MVP is an incredible, it's an unfathomable accomplishment. It's not even an incredible accomplishment. It's an unfathomable accomplishment. But we all know there are certain individuals that, like, are you wanting to win the individual award or do you want to win the team award? Cam Newton, he said, I'd rather win MVP than the Super Bowl. And obviously the majority of the world came back at him and was like, bro, you'd rather win an MVP than a Super Bowl? Some people care more about the individual. Some care more about the team. I remember that moment, and I just remember thinking, like, is Embiid satisfied? You won MVP. Number one overall pick. Nobody can ever say you're a bust. Nobody can ever say your career didn't live up to its hype. Nobody can ever injure this injury that you were an NBA MVP, and nobody can ever take that from you. But ultimately, you have championship potential. And is Joel Embiid full? Because sometimes 2-5, what he said at the podium to me, if you lose and you get swept to the Knicks, you know this in Philly, you get swept by the Knicks and you go to the podium and you say, yeah, the season was a success to me. That sounds like somebody that's full, not somebody that's still hungry.
So you watched that clip, and what was wrong with that clip? He won the MVP.
That's everything. Emotional. It wasn't just that clip. It's going to the stadium today and after getting swept and be like, oh, the season was a success.
Yeah, I didn't like that. But, I mean, he's been battling injuries since day one, right? Yeah. And then in the playoffs, he's getting hurt again. And then when he has a great performance in Boston, he comes back, he don't even play the next game because he's injured. So, I mean, yeah.
This reminds me of, to me, that sounded just like the Jalen Brown situation. When he got on Twitch and he was like, oh, this was, my favorite season. Joel Embiid, what was the success about this season? Because you technically were in the game to get swept? You didn't have to sit on the bench. You didn't miss the whole series like you have before?
I completely and vehemently disagree with the points you guys are making right now. Guys, Joel Embiid was crying after winning MVP because he wasn't sure he was going to be able to play basketball professionally after the first 2 years of his career were completely marred and destroyed by injury. He then ended up coming back to play at an MVP level and then winning an MVP. Yeah. To say that he doesn't care about championships, whenever I saw the same cry after they lost to the Toronto Raptors when a ball got luckily bounced into the into the basket by Kawhi Leonard in a Game 7. I think he does care about winning. I think he's always cared about winning. I also think he's missed more games in his NBA career than he's been able to play in. And the fact that he's been marred by injury over the past 2 years, had his knee just completely, I mean, it's been a huge question as to what it was. Like what's keeping me out? I can't stay healthy. And now he feels like the doctors, everyone a part of the medical team, they have found some sort of consistent diagnosis that he can now work with moving forward, and he feels healthy. I think that's a great thing that Joel Embiid feels that he is healthy for the first time in 2 years. For the first time since he won MVP, he feels like, oh, you know what? It's tough. As a team, it's not the result we wanted, but I know I haven't been able to contribute over the past 2 years. I feel like this was a success because now I feel as if I'm healthy enough to help this team moving forward. I don't think this is a bad thing from Joel Embiid. I get it's not what fans want to hear after your team just got swept embarrassingly, badly by the New York Knicks, but it's Joel Embiid as an athlete being honest and vulnerable about what he's had to deal with his injuries, and I'm gonna back him in this situation.
But the only question, and I know we got to move on. For how long? We're going on year 13. Like, okay, so this year's a success, bro. This is a whole year. It's a year off Tyrese Maxey's life. Paul George ain't got that many more seasons left in him. Kelly Oubre, I think he's hitting free agency. So, like, I'm glad it was a success for you, Joel Embiid. Yeah. So, like, Oubre's still trying to land himself a big contract. Yeah. You said that today.
He wasn't going to be able to contribute anyway, though, is what I'm saying. Because of the injuries, he wasn't going to be able to contribute.
In my opinion, this was Embiid doing his best, like, keep me here in Philly, guys. I don't want to leave you guys. I don't want to be traded off to the Wizards like Anthony Davis and just have my career completely obliterated because I've fallen short of expectations for umpteen years at this point. But we'll see if it works. I do think ultimately that it's probably time to part ways with Joel Embiid.
It was.
And do what?
Yeah, and do what? That's what I'm saying.
Invest in Tyrese Maxey. Invest in VJ Edgecombe.
What are you getting back for Joel Embiid right now with all the injuries?
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like,
but if y'all are so high on Joel Embiid,
it sounds good.
I would assume that there's some other NBA teams that are too. I mean, I'm not saying he's just valueless, but I think, hey, this situation has not worked for you. We have some younger guys. Go be this recovery piece that you think you're going to be. You think the doctors have figured your knee out. Cool. Go figure that out somewhere else.
That just sounds like so easy. He has a big ticket on his contract for one, and he's hurt a lot.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't want to do that, and he's not a young chicken in the coop.
Yeah.
So you saying just move him, like moving where? And then if we do move him, I'm not comfortable and confident that we just gonna get it done with this Maxey and VD or VJ, and they're really really good. But like, how many of these little guards go out and just be winning all these games without no real help?
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's just them, but I'm saying they would have to get something for for Embiid. But I think he still has value. I think Embiid still has value. We saw it. We saw flashes of it.
Now's probably the time. Trade.
Yes.
Sell high, buy low.
Yes.
Like you keep Embiid 1 or 2 more seasons.
You're literally getting nothing. You can still get something for Joel Embiid, especially if he can